I don't know that if you're running in that environment, this is even something you would come in and mess with. In essence, what it's a way for us to do is inside of AutoCAD, without minimizing it and saving it and then going out and starting another program, we can actually do it right here. Okay. So this is an old DOS format, which is kind of dating us. I think there's 4 of us in here that might even have heard of DOS. Missy, have you ever heard of DOS?
I don't think so.
Okay, you started computers a little bit later. Cheryl, you probably have through college, at least you did too. I did too. DOS has gone the way of the dinosaurs for the most part. And now it's gone into C++ and these other programming languages, but this is what this is doing. So what you're looking at here for the context is where it says, let me go to the hard copy so I can zoom in on this a little bit. And let's explain what's going on with the external programs. Okay, so the first section, notice that there are no semicolons in front of this. That means it's going to do something. Okay? Where you see a semicolon, this isn't doing anything except giving you information, here, nothing. So what it's going to do is explore. This is what you're going to type on the command line. Make sure it does not match up with anything in the PGP file down below. So if I want to use Explorer and I use EX, and I'm using EX for extend, it's going to do Explorer, because it's the first thing in there, right? So make sure it's got a unique name. This is what you're typing on the command line. Once you type Explorer and hit enter, what it's going to do is it's going to run out and start, this is an old DOS command, explorer.exe. And we don't have to put that in because it knows it's going to go get it. But what it's going to get right here is that explorer.exe file and open it. Okay. Now, from there we have a comma and we have some fields. These are called bit, what do they call them? Bit something. Bit flags. Okay. And this is how the program is going to work. Okay. So 1, you can look up in the ones above. I think 1 is started immediately. If you use a 2, it's started in the background. 3 is maybe put it on the status bar or something like that. So these could do different things. We're going to see how they work here in just a second. If you don't want it to do anything, just put the 1 in there so it starts immediately and leave the other commas just unfilled. Okay?
You don't have to have a space after the commas, do you?
No, you do not.
So we can just go EXPL for Explorer then.
Yeah, if you wanted to. Okay? Okay, so that's in essence what's going on with this. Okay? Now the bit flags, I don't think I can do a better job than what this does up here above, and it goes to the previous page, but on your bit flags right here, it tells you what everything does. Okay? So a 1 is run it immediately, right? So suspend AutoCAD, run the program. 2, run it and then minimize it. So you won't see it, it'll be down on your status bar. 3, run the application, it's going to leave the window open behind AutoCAD. Okay? Just different ways that it runs. The bit 8 is an argument string. Okay? There's only one of them that has an argument string in the originals, and to tell you the truth, argument strings in this context just kind of slow you down. So I would recommend you don't do any. But you do see an example, this one right here where it says file to edit, that is an argument string. Okay, so that's what they're doing on that. All right, so let's jump to AutoCAD real quick, and let's just test out how it works. Okay, so I'm on AutoCAD. I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. Now, just type in the word notepad. Type notepad. What happens down on the command line? Okay, it says file to edit. Now, since we're out of the DOS environment, normally we would type C / the directory and the file name, and it would open that file. Now, since we now all are working through a Windows Explorer environment, all you want to do here is hit enter and it should open Notepad for you. And it should have ran Notepad in front of AutoCAD. Okay. Did you get it to pop up on the screen? That Notepad, hit enter twice. Okay, there it is. Okay, did you see how that works? Now, what happened there? Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. So you typed in Notepad. It then ran the start command, open notepad.exe. It did the bit flag 1, which is open it and keep it active. And then I had an argument string file to edit. You saw that on the command line. We then hit enter to get by it, and so now the program's up and ready to run. Okay, that's what that coding does. Now, this is fairly easy to do, but you gotta know where or what the exe file is named. So you might have to do a little looking for this. Okay. So let's go ahead and add one. So I'm going to go back to my PGP file. Now the paintbrush one is kind of set up pretty well for this. So I'm just going to grab that whole P brush line, highlight it blue, hit Control C. Once I've got it copied, I click at the end of the P brush line and I'm going to hit enter to give myself another line in the program.
Okay, so I highlighted it and I
Hit
copied
Control
it.
C.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's on the clipboard, right? Ready to be copied? Then just re-click at the end of the line right here.
Okay.
It should turn it, it's now no longer blue, right? Now just hit enter to get yourself another line in the program. Because again, if I'm adding something, I always try and keep the spaces the same, try and maintain the context or integrity of the file. Then I'm going to hit Control V. So I've got two lines that are identical. PBrush, start PBrush 1, comma, comma, comma. Okay. What's another program we might use? Why don't you guys give me one? What do you want to open?
Word.
Okay, we want to open Word. So, Sean, since you brought it up, what do you want to type at the command line? Word?
Yeah, Word
Okay,
works fine.
so the first part is what we're typing at the command line. So I'm going to delete out PBrush and I'm going to type in Word. Again, I want to make sure that that word is not used as a command alias down below. And I'll tell you it's not. So I replaced PBrush with Word. I wish I could. Does anybody know how to make this bigger on the screen?
I don't.
I don't either. It used to be like a keystroke, Control Alt or something, and I'm not sure how to do it anymore. That doesn't work. So I've got Word, comma. Now I'm going to add some spaces just to keep everything lined up on the start. Now we've got to find the exe file. So what is the executable file for Word? What's that?
Word.
No, it's not. It's usually something like that, though. It's something fairly close. So let me give you some advice. I would open Windows Explorer. Okay? So I brought over Windows Explorer. A lot of these are going to be found in C program files, because that's where it kind of stores most of this stuff. And to speed the computer up, if you just jump into the C drive, And then let's go down to program files and just highlight it blue. Now you're going to see over here, there's a Microsoft Office folder. That's where all that stuff is. But Windows Explorer has a search option for it. Okay, over here on the right, where it says search programs. And I don't know if you want to write this down or just do it. So I'm going to click over here. Now, I think this is going to be something W something exe, right? So I'm going to have the computer search for this executive file. Okay, so I'm going to type W asterisk dot exe. So what I put in my search, which was right over here in the top right, I put W asterisk dot exe. And by the way, this is all in that chapter 43 that I gave you on the digital stuff. So what I'm saying is, find any file that starts with a W. It can have any set of characters or numbers after that. That's what the wildcard does. And then I've got dots, and it has to give me an executable file, a .exe. Okay? And so you can see it kind of came through, and it's starting to get all these w.exes. Okay? Now it's going to get a lot of these. One of them will have an icon that matches what's on your computer. And now it's only searching the program files, and it didn't find it. It's actually WinWord is words. Okay, so I looked in the wrong spot. If you keep in mind, sometimes this is the hardest part, is just locating the executable file. Okay? So I'm going to go back and go to Program Files, Microsoft Office, and let's look in Office 16, the latest one. No, that one doesn't have anything in it. I'm just going to search the C drive as a whole. So I'm going to click on just the C drive on the left side, and then put in my search window, w**.exe.
There's two program files. One
Yeah.
has programs, and then it's x86. That's where the file is.
It's in the x86 one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, does anybody know what the x86 one versus just the program files does? Because I don't. It appeared probably, Windows 7, I think, is when it came out with the two different program files. Yeah, I have no idea what the other one does. This may take it a little bit, and you're going to get a lot of them. Stay in the WIs. It's going to be WinWord. In fact, I'll shorten my search down. I'm going to be wi.exe after .exe.
When you're searching a file, should you put just the first letter or?
You want to narrow the search down as much as possible. So if you know a little bit about what it's got in it, then you want to tighten that up as much as possible. Because you can see with wi*.exe, heck, I'm up to, I don't know how many files there, a heck of a lot. So you want to just narrow it down as much as possible. Okay, if I know what it's called, I'm going to type WinWord.exe and hit enter. Now I bet you I'm going to get one, maybe two. Like Excel, if you're looking for that one, just type in excel.exe and see if it doesn't find it. Okay. And it will have this icon next to it though. Okay, so it found mine now, right here, and it tells me where it's at. Starting to find a bunch more.
Well, the first one that popped up is from installer,
Yeah,
and the second one is from program files.
you want the one from program files, where it's stored, because yeah, it's been installed, right? Okay, so I typed in winword.exe with no wildcards and it found it.